Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about Back to the Past, and the Bad Guy Club for Villains. First, I'm going to talk about Back to the Past. Enjoy! In the beginning of the episode, SpongeBob and Patrick are strolling through Bikini Bottom and see Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy in the invisible boatmobile, without gas. Off-screen, SpongeBob and Patrick push the boat over several hills. As a reward, Barnacle Boy invites them into their warehouse full of memorabilia from their TV show so long as they don't touch anything. Barnacle Boy shows them a time machine that they have never used and warns them not to use it because they could mess up the timeline. Almost immediately Patrick mistakes it for a vending machine, and all of them are transported to 1954 when Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy were young. The heroes scold Patrick for his actions and travel the area, due to his stupidity. They see Man Ray tormenting old Bikini Bottom. Past Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are unsuccessful at foiling Man Ray due to Patrick eating the tartar sauce of his dumbness they were originally going to trap him in. SpongeBob and Patrick escape old Bikini Bottom, leaving their Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy behind. When SpongeBob and Patrick return to Bikini Bottom, it is no longer called Bikini Bottom, but Man Rayopolis. They go to the Krusty Krab, which is now called the designated area where you are permitted by Man Ray, your ruler, to obtain sandwiches using Man Ray dollars. The superheroes from their time are now dead and buried inside the restaurant while the past superheroes now work there. Mermaid Man is the fry cook, SpongeBob's position, and Barnacle Boy is the cashier, Squidward's position. Realizing that they created an alternate timeline by preventing Man Ray's defeat, they go back to stop Patrick from eating the tartar sauce, but the heroes who were sent by accident believe they are imposters. The Mermaid Men fight, which creates the perfect distraction for Man Ray. The young Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy attempt to foil Man Ray with the tartar sauce, but the two Patricks end up eating it. Another warehouse appears. SpongeBob and Patrick from a different time period emerge from the warehouse screaming, "Patrick, don't eat the tartar sauce." Another warehouse appears above Man Ray and outfall SpongeBob and Patrick. Yet another one appears with SpongeBob saying to Patrick, "I told you we had to go back further." Another one pops to Man Ray's left with Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy leaping out of it exclaiming, "Up, up and away." They both fall headfirst into the ground. Another one appears above the previous warehouse with the superheroes. SpongeBob and Patrick appear and throw a batch of tartar sauce over the fallen superheroes from the previous warehouse. Another one appears next to the pair of warehouses. Man Ray flies out of it, destroys it, says, "I took care of your blasted time machine," and leaves. All of the warehouses appearing in random locations confuses Man Ray. Man Ray sits down on a log and thinks about what is happening, but gets arrested by the superheroes. Then all of a sudden, many warehouses appear all over the planet, all of them containing multiple copies of SpongeBob and Patrick revisiting the day that evil was defeated for good. Next, I'm going to talk about the Bad Guy Club for Villains. Enjoy! In the beginning of the episode, SpongeBob visits Patrick's house and tells him what he got in the mail, which was a video of the lost episode of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. They begin watching the video. It begins with the Mermaid Man theme song. After the narrator announces the name of the episode, The Secret Meeting, it shows Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy spying on the Dirty Bubble. He is taking a bus to Bikini Bottom. The two heroes decide to stop whatever evil he is doing. Then, the scene cuts to the Dirty Bubble coming out of the bus, laughing, and Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy watching. Then, Man Ray, Jumbo Shrimp, Atomic Flounder, and Sinister Slug join the Dirty Bubble. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are worried at this team-up. The Dirty Bubble welcomes the villains to the BGATFBC, which shall be held at the Evil Hotel, April 3rd, at noon. Patrick's television becomes filled with static. Patrick yells angrily and SpongeBob quickly repairs the tape. They start watching again. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy discuss what to do. Mermaid Man acknowledges that they are outmanned, but they are one step ahead of the villains. He takes a shell and uses it as a phone. He asks for the ocean's greatest heroes and is told to hold. The narrator then says, "Meanwhile, outside Motel Evil," and the scene shows the villains gathering around the building. They enter the building to find two men in white coats sitting at a long table reserved for the villains. The Dirty Bubble says the two men have to leave. One man, who is really Mermaid Man, says he thought it was set aside for the IJLSA. The dirty bubble demands to know what it is, and Mermaid takes off the white coat, revealing who he is. The villains are surprised. Mermaid Man introduces the villains to the IJLSA. First, the elastic waistband is seen, then Professor Magma, followed by Miss Appear, and the Pyrite Ponderer. They begin to battle. Barnacle Boy is touched by the atomic flounder, and grows an evil arm, and is knocked out. The dirty bubble shoots Man Ray out of his mouth and fires at the elastic waistband, who blocks it with his stretching belly. Mermaid Man jumps to the evil arm on Barnacle Boy, who taunts him. The evil arm forces Barnacle Boy to swing fists at Mermaid Man. The elastic waistband asks what they should do, and Mermaid Man jumps and swings on a chandelier and spins several times in midair. He jumps on Barnacle Boy's shoulder and starts wrestling with the arm. It continues to taunt Mermaid Man, and he pulls Barnacle Boy past Professor Magma, using him as a shield, and attacks the atomic flounder, who collapses. The sinister slug is seen crawling up a wall behind Mermaid Man and SpongeBob screams to him, "Look out, Mermaid Man." The slug spits at Mermaid Man. He jumps out of the way and the glop lands on the atomic flounder. SpongeBob and Patrick are happy. The slime from the sinister slug hardens and Mermaid Man makes the evil arm touch the atomic flounder. It explodes and Barnacle Boy wakes up. Mermaid Man then uses the hairnet on the Pyrite Ponderer as a net and gathers the villains in the hairnet. Mermaid Man demands to know what their group villain's name is, which turns out to be the bad guys all together for book club. The villains sneer, saying that they can't arrest them for reading, and Mermaid Man confirms this before tells the viewers that no one can arrest you for reading. The show concludes and the end credits begin to show. Patrick asks what those squiggles are on the screen, and SpongeBob explains that they are end credits. This worries Patrick, but SpongeBob then points out that they have the rewind button and presses it, as Patrick thanks Neptune for it, and the lost episode starts again as the episode ends. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.